Do you realize that the true cause of your frequent awakenings at 2 or 3 in the morning, even when your bladder is not yet full, could be that you are drinking water at the wrong time? It seems insignificant. However, for numerous esteemed seniors throughout India, this inconspicuous error has transformed restful slumber into a nightly battle. After a long day, you lay down in the hopes of resting, but the need comes back just as your body is starting to relax. Before we start, could you please let me know where you are seeing this? What time is it now, too? Kindly share in the comments section below. I cherish every moment of your day, no matter how minor. Please click the subscribe button if you find this information useful so you don't miss the next easy, life-altering advice. Again and again, the mind is worn out. Even a hot cup of chai loses its refreshing effect by morning, and the legs feel heavy. The good news is that there is a better option. I'll teach you how to properly drink water in today's video, using tips from seasoned urologists so that you may finally sleep at night. Many Indian elders start to notice an odd change in their nights after the age of 55. After dinner, you lie down calmly, assuming that sleep will come naturally. Instead, you experience a recurring impulse to get up and use the restroom every few hours. Usually, it happens twice or even 3 times per night, but occasionally it happens just once. You could think that this is a natural aspect of growing older. In actuality, though, there is a deeper process going on within the body, and you can find relief if you comprehend it. Vasopressin is a hormone that our bodies generate less of at night as we age. This hormone enables uninterrupted rest by assisting the kidneys in reducing pee production while we sleep. Even during night, the kidneys continue to filter fluids at the same rate as vasopressin levels fall. This causes the bladder to fill up more quickly and produces more urine, which disrupts your sleep before your body's really ready to get up. The kidneys themselves also become somewhat less effective as a result of this. It's not a sickness, it's just how the body naturally adjusts over time. The fluid balance takes longer to correct, and the filtering process slows down. This implies that your body could not handle water in the same gradual pace, even if you consume the same amount as before. The bladder becomes more sensitive when you add something else. Before experiencing the desire, your bladder could store 400,500 milliliters of urine when you were younger. However, around 60, it can begin to emit signals, even after only 150 milliliters, roughly half a glass, have accumulated, and your mind is unable to rest once that signal reaches it. Allow me to introduce you to Hyderabadi Mahanji. He thought that waking up twice at night was just his age catching up with him for years. He tried sleeping drugs and quit drinking water, but to no avail. He was quite relieved to discover that his bladder nerves were only more sensitive and not damaged. And he started sleeping well once more after making a few little adjustments to his timing and posture. So, dear buddy, it's not only age, it's the new ways our bodies communicate with us. And after we pay attention, we may start mending without fear. Elders in many Indian houses maintain that drinking a lot of water is always a good idea. Indeed, life depends on water. However, when we drink alcohol, particularly after the age of 60, can subtly affect how peaceful our evenings are. Your bladder could prevent you from getting a good night's sleep, even if you're drinking the recommended amount of water at the wrong time. Drinking a lot of water after 6 or 7 p.m. is one of the most frequent errors. The kidneys are currently slowing down for rest by nature. However, your kidneys have to work harder through the night if you put too much fluids in your system in the evening. Even when your body wants to sleep, they keep filtering and forcing pee into the bladder. Because of this, elderly people who have 1 or 2 glasses of water with or after dinner frequently wake up at 1 or 3 in the morning with an irresistible urge. Then there is the late-night practice of drinking soup or tea milk. Before going to bed, many people find solace in a bowl of mild rasam or a warm cup of masala chai. However, we overlook the fact that all of these are fluids. Ginger tea, haldi milk, and thin dal are all considered to be part of your overall fluid consumption. Additionally, they subtly accumulate in the bladder when ingested after sundown. The outcome is the same sleep disturbances, exhausted mornings, or and occasionally even leg discomfort or fogginess from little sleep. Using the restroom as a last resort before bed is another silent habit. It appears sensible, even accountable. However, the nerves within begin to receive the incorrect message when you force the bladder to empty when it is not full. Over time, even when your bladder is only 1/3 full, it starts to feel full. We refer to this as bladder overtraining. Additionally, even though there isn't much urine within, it creates false cravings that drive you to wake up in the middle of the night. Let's now discuss another crucial but frequently overlooked issue: not distributing your water evenly throughout the day. A few elderly people forget to drink more in the evening after drinking less in the morning and afternoon. The kidneys are under unnecessary pressure as a result. You should ideally drink the most of your water between the hours of 4 p.m. and daybreak. Then, gradually cut back on consumption to allow the body to get ready for sleep. Lastly, the water's temperature is also important. The bladder lining may become irritated if you drink really cold water from the refrigerator, especially in the evening. Particularly in older persons whose digestion is already slowed, it makes the nerves more sensitive. Particularly after sunset, warm or room temperature water is much kinder to the stomach and bladder. Allow me to tell you about Pune native Sushila Maji. She is 72 years old, and she had trouble sleeping for about 2 years. Even after drinking a little water, she would wake up every night around 2:30 a.m. and need to use the restroom. She assumed it was simply aging. She then informed me that I always had ginger tea at 9 o'clock at night. It makes me feel more at ease. While ginger is beneficial, I gently pointed out that drinking tea that late adds liquid right before bed. So, she changed one thing. She barely had 2 sips of warm water before bed and rescheduled her tea for 6 p.m. She started sleeping for 5 to 6 hours at a time, after a week. She remarked, "I never knew water could behave like this," as the sparkle returned to her eyes. These minor errors are not your fault, dear listener. As we age, no one teaches us how to change our habits. But now that you know, you may carefully and gently reclaim your nights, one glass at a time. Elders in many Indian households start their days with a hot cup of tea, yet they frequently neglect to hydrate themselves in the morning. They try to catch up by drinking 2 or 3 glasses after 6 p.m., but as darkness draws near, they suddenly remember. They unknowingly prepared themselves for a night of restless thoughts, exhausted eyes, and interrupted sleep. However, what if I told you that the timing of your water intake could be just as crucial as the quantity? Our bladder and kidneys become more timing sensitive as we age. The body is active during the day. The heart beats more vigorously, metabolism speeds up, and the kidney's capacity to filter and balance fluids is improved. For this reason, urologists worldwide, including many reputable physicians in India, advise elders to consume the majority of their water intake between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. Your bladder can completely empty before sundown because your body has adequate time to process the contents. It supports digestion, lessens bloating, and, above all, keeps the bladder relaxed by the time your body starts getting ready for sleep. Drinking water gradually throughout the morning is ideal, with somewhat greater quantities during breakfast, mid-morning, and lunch. But it's time to start cutting back as the clock strikes 5 p.m. This does not imply that you should completely abstain from drinking water in the evening, which would be unhealthy. Rather, consider it akin to turning down the lights before going to bed. Reduce gradually. Take tiny sips just when you're thirsty between 5 and 7 p.m. Additionally, unless your doctor has instructed you otherwise, refrain from consuming more than 150 milliliters of water, roughly 1 small steel glass, after 7:30 p.m. What happens if I take my medications at night? For blood pressure, diabetes, or joint discomfort, many elderly people are prescribed medications. Yes, water is necessary for these. The best course of action in these situations is to take your medication in little doses that are comfortable to swallow but not more than is necessary. Additionally, instead of drinking a full glass of water at once, try taking a tablespoon of room temperature water every few minutes if your prescription causes you to feel thirsty. In addition, a lot of elderly people have a tendency of silently drinking water before bed. So that I won't be thirsty at night, you think. Let me drink a bit. Despite its good intentions, this behavior frequently causes you to wake up at 2 in the morning. Try something different instead. Before going to bed, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Put a hand on your belly and another on your chest. Inhale deeply and gently, then exhale through your mouth. This lowers erroneous signals from the bladder and relaxes your neurological system. To calm the abdominal region, you can also gently massage the lower abdomen in a clockwise direction. Allow me to tell you about Uncle Ramesh, a 70-year-old Nagpur resident. He believed that drinking almost a liter of water between 7 and 9 p.m. would help him detox and cleanse his system overnight. However, he paid the price with 3 nightly bathroom breaks and slow, sluggish mornings. There was a noticeable change in his habit when he stopped drinking 70% of his water before 3 p.m. and just had one little glass at 6:30 p.m. He was only waking up once at night after 2 weeks, and after a month, he was sleeping soundly from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Dear Elder, the answer is to start drinking early rather than later. Your organs can function peacefully and rhythmically if you give your body the proper timing. Consequently, your mind receives the gift of uninterrupted sleep. After the day's work is finished, supper is more than just a meal in many Indian homes. It's a peaceful time spent with loved ones. However, as we age, our evening meal choices, and more crucially, when we eat, can subtly affect how well we sleep at night. The body becomes more sensitive to some foods around the age of 60, particularly those that impact bladder function, hydration, and digestion. Consider watery dishes like clear soup, rasam, or even a bowl of thin dal. Only when taken at the appropriate time do these appear to be light and easy to digest. They function as secret sources of fluid that gradually fill the bladder when taken close to bedtime. After resting down for a few hours, your bladder begins to whisper, even if you might not notice it at first. Then persist until you are fully awakened. After that, there are soothing evening beverages like herbal tea, haldi milk, or even a tiny cup of milk and coffee. For a while, these might help you unwind, but their high water content soon increases your fluid load at night. Certain beverages, such as masala chai or green tea, also have minor diuretic properties, meaning they stimulate the production of more pee. For elderly people, this turns into a quiet cycle where they drink to relax but wake up right when their bodies should be sleeping. Careful scheduling is also required for some fruits and vegetables. It may appear healthful to eat raw cucumber tomato slices, watermelon, and even orange juice, but only before the sun sets. These are high in natural acids and water, which makes older persons more sensitive to bladder pain. After eating these, many seniors have an unexpected urge to urinate, particularly if they are eaten with supper or as a small snack later in the evening. Allow me to introduce you to Rajesh Ji, who hails from Ahmedabad. He used to eat a large raw salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, and lemon dressing every night when he was 68 years old. He woke up 2 or 3 times every night to use the restroom, even though he believed he was doing the right thing. He didn't notice a difference until he moved his salad to midday and started eating steamed vegetables instead. Without taking any medication or altering his water intake, he started sleeping for 6 hours straight in just 1 week. Only one easy shift. Foods high in salt are another unnoticed factor. Drinking pickles, fried paypads, or highly spiced curries at night makes you thirstier. After dinner and right before bed, you feel the need to drink extra water. Nighttime urination is nearly certain due to the combination of this excess fluid, aging kidneys, and a sensitive bladder. This isn't about giving up your favorite meals, dear elder. Respecting the body's fluctuating rhythm is the goal. Your system can rest if you move these things to earlier in the day and eat lighter, softer meals at night. The mind also rests when the body does. And when the mind is calm, sleep comes back like the soothing silence of an old friend. Sometimes the body requests a minor behavioral change that is delivered with patience and care rather than medication. In India, a lot of elderly people feel powerless to stop nighttime urinating because they believe it is a natural part of aging. However, the truth is that a few little lifestyle adjustments can provide peaceful comfort by respecting the body's natural rhythm rather than applying pressure. Let's start with a very basic morning exercise. Our blood circulation slows down after the age of 60, and fluid tends to pool in our legs over the day. This concealed swelling is frequently invisible, but when you lie down at night, the fluid returns to the kidneys and heart, increasing the output of urine at the very moment when your body needs to rest. Your body can release this fluid sooner if you take a quick walk in the morning sun, extend your arms, or even just move your legs slightly while seated. Your kidneys will be less taxed after sunset, and you'll sleep more soundly. Then comes your sleeping habits. In India, many elderly people use heavy mattresses or high pillows to sleep on their backs. In order to alleviate strain on the bladder, doctors now advise sleeping on your left side with a soft pillow beneath your head and another between your knees. Additionally, this position enhances blood flow and digestion, allowing your organs to rest without giving the brain erroneous signals. Within a week, several people have seen a significant change despite the slight tweak. Let's now discuss room temperature and sleepwear. Warmth, according to our elders, is a sign of safety. However, dressing in heavy blankets or wearing thick nightwear might cause overheating in today's climate, particularly during humid months. Sweating, thirst, and an increase in renal activity are caused by this. Try wearing light cotton clothing instead, and keep the room as breezy as possible with a fan and a thin bedsheet. The bladder will remain silent and your body will remain at ease. Additionally, avoid rushing to the bathroom out of habit if you chance to wake up in the middle of the night. Hold on a second. Gently ask yourself, am I really feeling satisfied? If the response is no, remain motionless. Breathe deeply 5 times, then let your stomach relax. By doing this, you can teach your bladder to stop making false warnings. Your body's nerves will eventually learn that not all signals indicate an emergency. Allow me to introduce you to Kochi's Maji. Even when her bladder was almost empty, she used to wake up twice a night at the age of 74. Her sleep, however, improved after she began sleeping on her side, dressing in cotton, and engaging in deep breathing exercises. It feels like my body has become my friend again, she told me. Good sleep is therefore not a luxury, beloved senior. Your body still recalls that properly. You don't have to battle your age. All you have to do is listen carefully and adapt. Additionally, the body frequently expresses gratitude in the form of unbroken rest for healing when you do this. We learn a lot from our elders, neighbors, and even well-meaning family members as we grow up, and some of these concepts become deeply ingrained in us as truths throughout time. However, there are several widespread misconceptions about nighttime urination that might unintentionally cause more harm than good. Let's gently dispel some of these misconceptions today, not out of fear, but with understanding and consideration. The first belief that many elders hold is that I won't have to wake up at night if I drink less water during the day. This makes sense at first. However, something quite distinct takes on inside the body. Your body becomes slightly dehydrated when you don't get enough water during the day. By nighttime, your blood thickens and your kidneys have to work harder, which is why you frequently have a urine burst when you lie down. In actuality, drinking water in the morning, particularly from 6 a.m. and 3 p.m., actually decreases rather than raises nighttime urination. The second fallacy is that my prostate is the only reason I urinate at night. Prostate health is crucial, but it's not the only factor, especially for older men. The same problem affects women as well. Late meals, hydration timing, and sleep patterns are all equally impacted by a sensitive bladder. If you exclusively blame the prostate, you may miss out on other easy lifestyle changes that could help. Going to the bathroom before bed, even if you don't really feel the need, is another widespread practice that we frequently observe. This eventually teaches your bladder to transmit erroneous signals. You begin to wake up for tiny amounts that you wouldn't have noticed before. Trusting your body and just going when the urge is genuine is a superior strategy. Last but not least is the long-standing custom of drinking warm water at 9 o'clock at night in the hopes that it aids in digestion or cools the liver. Despite being warm and soothing, this late-night beverage nevertheless increases the load on the bladder. Try drinking them early, about 6 or 6:30 p.m. if you like warm beverages. Your body still benefits from this without interfering with your later sleep. Therefore, sweet elder knowledge is about adjusting ancient practices with awareness rather than dismissing them. Your body continues to hear you. It returns to serenity the more gently you lead it. Sometimes healing comes from a little quiet modification made at the proper moment, rather than a large medication or a complex diet. And changing the time of water is one of the easiest changes we can do to promote sound sleep. When you drink, it matters more than what you drink. This one behavior may seem insignificant, but for a great number of elderly in India, it has transformed their lives. Allow me to introduce you to Lakshmi Maji, a lovely Coimbatore woman of 70. She used to feel exhausted, restless, and confused as to why her sleep had become so shallow. She would wake up 3 times a night, always at the same time. She thought it was simply aging. However, she stopped drinking anything after 6:30 p.m. and started consuming the most of her water in the morning. She was getting 7 full hours of sleep in a week. "I didn't know my body could still feel this refreshed," she stated with a smile. And I want to leave you with that message today. Your body is still with you. It still retains its memory of how to recover, rest, and regain equilibrium. Sometimes all it requires is your love, gentle support, and patience. I would thus love to know if the video today was able to clarify even one new concept for you. If you feel like something inside of you is ready to change, even in a tiny way, please put the word hope in the comments section. That one word might inspire someone else who is silently observing, just like you. If this was useful to you, please subscribe to this channel as a tiny pledge to look for yourself, to ensure you don't miss any more messages tailored specifically for seniors like you. Click the bell symbol. Additionally, if you have a life partner, neighbor, cousin, or someone you know that wakes up a lot at night, please show them this movie. Better sleep might be the gift you're giving them. I hope you have a night as peaceful as an April breeze and a morning as soft as your first cup of chai in the morning before we cross paths again. Namaste.